Okay, next we're going to look at section 5.2 on relational operators, equality operators. We use these a lot with the if-then, and actually once we get going in code, we'll use these in a number of other places. And you should be familiar with these. You might want to just check the syntax because some of them slightly different than what you may have seen in other contexts, like in a math or just the way you write things. So we can say A is less than B, A is greater than B. We can write less than or equal or greater than or equal. And notice we have the less than or greater than first and then the equal afterwards in both cases. So you have to write them that way. Equals, now this is, and we'll talk more about this, is an equal equal, double equals. We already used the single equal as an assignment. If we say A in a single equal B, that just assigns A to the value of B. So we'll be using this double equal here, and also not equals often, like you may have written this with an equal with a slash through it or different ways. We use an exclamation point in the equals. In a lot of code areas, exclamation point stands for not. And then you can stick it in front of lots of things. And so exclamation equals just means not equals. And so you can write lots of expressions with this to create these Boolean values, values that are either true or false as we go. And again, remember that this equals, the equals is not the same as the assignment statement that we will go. So to go through here, write these statements out, try them out. It's good practice to get used. Make sure you've got those subtle changes than what you're probably used to seeing. And again, some good examples here. Walk through these. And again, they'll talk about this common error. And what's hard about this error is that the compiler generally won't catch it, because you can actually say if number of dogs is equal to 9, and that means if we are assigning the number 9 to the number of dogs, and that can actually be interpreted as a true false value in some ways, and so the compiler doesn't catch this as a error, even though it's obviously not what the user wants to do. So again, they'll walk you through some questions there. Now there are some places where this equals doesn't work very well or doesn't work at all. And so again, one of them will be with decimal numbers, double or floating point numbers, and we'll have a whole unit later on talking about that and how to work with those. And also strings. You can write this, but it's not generally going to check if your string is equal to a hello. So again, we'll have a separate unit talking about how you compare strings, because they get a little complicated. So just going to warn you here that you shouldn't be doing either of those yet. So now we're getting down to the challenge activities. So if you've got everything else done, feel free to try the challenge activities. Again, you can enter your inputs, and again, remember they're very picky with the print lines and this line spacing here, and go through these. And so these are good, nice challenge activities to make sure you understand what's going on with this code. So that's the main parts of this challenge. And this chapter is just getting ready on. Now, you may also be thinking, is there an and or not and stuff like that? And there are, and we'll cover those later. So you can actually say if A is less than B and something else is less than, or you can use those, but we're not going to get into those in this chapter.